My friends, I had a wonderful time in Mountain View over the weekend. Got to play with my buddy Bruce and my other buddy Jim. We met a lot of fine people down there, and I'll tell you all about all of that, plus the killer that moved in next door while I was gone. Well, actually, they might have moved in before that, but I just found them after I got back. So to hear more about that, I'll tell you all about it right after this. Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. It is Monday, October 17th, and I am preparing for the frozen tundra of the south central Ozarks in Missouri. Oh my goodness, it's cold in the house. It's down in the low 60s in the house. You know, some of you may say, well, that's not that cold, but it feels pretty chilly to an old guy. Especially on those concrete floors, because if you get down to the floor, it's probably even quite a bit cooler. Up at the height of the thermometer, it's like 62 or so. It's probably like 58 down at the floor. Anyway, it's getting pretty chilly in the house, and we're just heating a couple of rooms where we're staying right now. So I'm looking forward to cutting wood. Not. We had a good time at Mountain View. Played more music than I played in a long time. I started jamming about 9 in the mornings and maybe took a short break around 1 to take a nap, and then went back around 2:30 or 3 and jammed till supper time, and then take an hour or so for supper, and then jam till we went to bed. So that's pretty much how every day went. You know, we had a good time. I met a lot of nice folks, and several of them watched the channel already, so they seem to know me. You know, without sounding like I'm bragging too terribly much, I hope. Although it's a brag, obviously. World's finest mandolin ever built by a human. I don't think it ever got so much attention as it did the past several days. Pretty much everywhere I went, people were coming up and asking me about it, and man, that mandolin sounds good. You know, oh, you can hear that mandolin, man, that thing. One guy says, you know, I was over at my bed and breakfast, and which is, I would say, I don't know, 50 yards across the grounds that we were on, and then across a street, and then, you know, across their yard and he was on the front porch of the bed and breakfast, and he said, man, he could hear that mandolin just as plain as day. So I really felt good about the mandolin this weekend, and lots of people were coming up taking pictures of it and asking me about it, you know, what kind of mandolin is that? Where did you get that? You know, that kind of thing. So hopefully I gained a few more subscribers through all those conversations. And speaking of subscribers, I think we just topped 79,000. I would really like to hit 100,000. By this spring, the way it was growing so fast, I thought for sure we'll hit 100,000 this year. And almost as soon as I mentioned that on the channel, they went kind of like stepping on a plum. It just went nothing there. And it's pretty much stayed stagnant the whole summer, and now it's starting to grow a little bit here in the fall. So that's a good thing. But if you have not yet subscribed, please do that, and make sure you haven't been unsubscribed by accident. I would appreciate that also. So the music thing went really good, and I did record some of it. I was staying at the Ozark Country Inn. I think I got the last room available anywhere in town. I really did. And they basically had me in a little closet. It had a single bed, and it was like they said, we don't normally rent this room out, but if you want it, you can rent it. I said, I'll take it, because I was looking for anything. Of course, it didn't have a recliner, and I typically only rent rooms with recliners because I cannot lay down. And so I had an unhealthy sleep for the last 4 or 5 days, because I could not lay down. And as soon as I'd lay down, you know, it'd start aching, and I could sleep a little while, but then I'd wake up, you know. So I didn't get a lot of rest, but it was still a very fun time. And regarding those recordings that I made on the video, I haven't looked at them yet. I'm assuming that some of it turned out okay. It was with people that we've never played with before. You know, sometimes songs, nobody knew the song. Like, for instance, I didn't know their songs, they didn't know my songs. I'm not pointing any fingers, but, you know, sometimes there's going to be mistakes and stuff. So I'll probably just put it out in snippet form. I'll probably create a little short video and put, you know, maybe 30 seconds of several different songs in the video. Or if it turned out good, I'll put more, but I'll just have to wait and see how it turned out. Now, speaking about the killers that moved in while I was gone, or at least I found them after I got back, let's just say it that way. Take a look at this. My friends, I'm behind my house, and I was actually metal detecting here in this backyard area where I have found a number of coins. But I found something pretty interesting just now because the leaves are off. Can you see it? I'm not going to get too close because it would eat my lunch. Yeah, it's a big old hornet's nest. And I saw hornets flying in and out of it, so I think I'm going to stay away from it until it freezes. Then I'll put it in a plastic bag and keep it over winter, and hopefully we'll be able to preserve it and hang it up in the house. Those are kind of neat looking when you get them hung up with the limbs that they're growing on and everything. Yeah, that's what they call a bald face hornet's nest. And if you could see them up close, you'd know why they call them bald face. They have kind of a white area around their whole front of their face and then kind of black around the edges. They would kind of wreck your whole day if you got a nest of those babies. And the reason I call them killers is because they really are killers. I mean, they kill all kinds of other insects, bring them in and feed their young. And if you're allergic to them, they'll kill you too. I don't think I've ever gotten in a nest of those where I've actually been stung by them. I've probably been stung at least once in my life because I've pretty much done everything, been there, you know, done it all once. But I don't recall being stung by a bald-faced hornet. Definitely yellow jackets, definitely about every other kind of bee you can think of, including bumblebees. The day before I left to go down to Mountain View, a red wasp got in the tongue of my shoe and stung me twice on the top of my foot. Oh my gosh. You're talking about hurting. That really hurt. Those red wasps, man, those things are killers. But anyway, what I plan to do with this hornet's nest is I'm going to wait till after the first couple of really freezy, frosty mornings, and then I'll go out there and cut it down. Typically, they're gone at that point. At least that's been my experience in the past. And I'll preserve it and put it in the house. Now, I already have one hanging in the house. Later on, I'll give you a side-by-side comparison because I believe this one's quite a bit bigger. The first one was pretty big, but this second one, I think, is way bigger. It's hard to tell how big it is in that picture I showed you, but it's pretty darn good size. I'd say it's every bit of 2 feet tall, if not a little taller than that, maybe. At least that's the way it looks from the distance. I didn't get real close to it. For obvious reasons. And finally, today I will get going on this lower mandolin. You know, I thought I'd get going on it Wednesday before I left Thursday morning, but unfortunately there's so much going on I never did get to this. So hopefully today I'll get the setup going on this. And of course I will put a video out on it, and I'll do a before and after in that video to show you what it looks like, sounds like before, and looks like, sounds like after. I believe that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.